Hi, all, welcome to Bamglam DIY. Most times, making a very high quality bar soap can be very challenging. Sometimes we experience things like the soap finishing on time due to the kind of oils we use. Sometimes we also experience things like shrinkage or your soap size reducing drastically, which can even be as a result of excess water that you added to your soap without backing up your recipe very well. There are different methods and recipes for making soap. No two methods are the same, like I said, and no two trainers or coaches teaches how to make soap in the same way. Everybody's recipes and pattern varies. The kind of oil you soak with sometimes may depend on the kind of materials you add to it. The quantity of water you use in making soap can also determine the quantity of the chemicals you are using to make it in order to support it. All these things are details in soap, so it is very difficult for you to say, okay, I learned how to make soap here and this is the measurement they gave me, and then all of a sudden you want to start combining that recipe with another recipe. It's always good you stick with one recipe at a time so that you know the outcome of the one you have and be able to attest to it. So in this video, I will show you how to make this high quality soap that will harden immediately. This soap is not even up to 24 hours of making and yet is already hard like this. You can stamp it after a few hours of cutting, design it, and then you can package. Within the next 24 hours, you should be able to sell the soap. I'll also try and point out how you can make your hot cold process soap to be able to saponify quickly so that you can sell it within within the next 48 hours. Also bear in mind that we sell mini soap cutters and also table cutters. This mini soap cutters comes with these two mold. The mini cutter itself, which is the major component of the set, it has the stamp and then the shaper or the groover. All these components can be purchased from us and our location is Rivers State, Nigeria. You can send us a WhatsApp message using the number on the screen if you want to place your purchase. This mini cutter is very easy to use and it gives you a very straight and sharp line after cutting your soap. If you are having difficulties that after cutting your soap, you always experience irregular sizes, you will not experience that with our cutter. If also cutting your soap in such a way that a little quantity of oil can give you very large quantity of soap is always also a challenge to you, don't worry, we'll also settle that. This mold is measured about 12 inches by 16 by 3 inches. And in this production, I used 3 liters of oil to make it. And at the end, I was able to realize about 60 pieces of the soap. We'll even count it together so that you can see. Our cutter cuts in two different sizes. We can cut this small soap or you can cut a bigger soap like baby and me. Also, the length of the soap can also be varied. We can cut a longer length and also a shorter length. Everything is involved. As in, this is mini cutter is a pick up and go. Even if you are traveling for the season and you want, when you travel over there, you can be able to make soap and cut. You can easily package it and travel with it. If you are also a trainer and you go to different places to train people and you need something you can always carry, make soap and cut, this our soap cutter is available for you. If you also want us to make it for you in a very big quantity, whereby you want to train like a local people in rural areas and you want us to produce it for you in big quantity, please also contact us with the number on the screen. Any quantity you want can be processed and you give us time to process it. Also bear in mind that our stamp details would normally take around 4 letters to 6 letters for the stamp so that it can be able to come out as beautiful as possible after making it for you. Welcome back to my channel on Bamglam DIY, and thank you for not going anywhere. So first I measured out my water and I'm using 2.5 liters of water, and then I added in my caustic soda to it. Please, I will list all the ingredients in the description box below. Just tap the more button underneath the title and you'll see the description box so that you can take note of all the everything, the measurements I'm using, the chemicals I'm using. Then after dissolving my caustic soda, I went in with dissolving my soda ash and sodium sulphate. My caustic soda was about 540 grams. The soda ash is as little as 300 grams, and then the sodium sulfate was also as little as 200 grams. The quantity of the chemicals I'm using is very small and minute and can be able to help you cover up cost of expenses or production. This is calcium carbonate. I'm using as little as just 100 gram in this soap. You can also make this soap without making use of calcium carbonate. Please bear that in mind, that you can make this production without making use of calcium carbonate. The only reason we add this calcium carbonate to our soap is to be able to help give the bar soap weight. Now what I added now is the sodium silicate. It also helps to give your soap some shine and then harden your soap. Is a hardener, the same thing with sodium sulfate. So when you combine it together, you will have a very good outcome of soap. This is the list of the components of ingredients I'll be using to make the soap. Mix everything properly and set it aside. Immediately you mix your caustic soda into water, it will start getting hot, and then you allow it to cool down to about 50 degrees centigrade. Then you warm your oils. Just warm your, I did not say boil your oil, oh, I said warm the oil. Just warm it, make it to be a little bit warm. So I'm making use of 3 liters of oil in total. These 3 liters of oil can be combined. I added titanium dioxide, which is white color, into this oil to be able to help it to be brighter in color after production. If your oil is very neat, you don't need to add in coloring. You can combine this oil with palm oil and palm kernel oil. You can combine it with palm kernel oil and animal fat, or you can also make use of only palm kernel oil. Right now, I'm making use of 2 liters of palm kernel oil, 1 liter of animal fat, because this is the oil that is available in my own community to source. Remember, the oil is warm and not hot, and remember the caustic soda solution is still warm. Now mix the two properly. Once you combine it very well, you mix the two properly. There are different types of titanium dioxide, which is that white color. Some of them float on water, while some of them dissolve very well. The one I'm using can even dissolve in water and both oil. So I just dissolved it and added it to my oil. And now what I did was to combine my caustic soda solution into it. None of this is actually cold. The lye solution is warm. The oil is warm, not hot. It's warm that your hands can also enter your oil without it hurting you. That's how warm it is. So it is both warm. That way you avoid your soap hardening up on you when you are still mixing it. If you want to still have a very fluidy soap batter before you pour it into your mold, make sure your oil should be warm and your caustic soda solution should be warm. Now, the last thing I added that you saw that was colored was my fragrance. You can combine fragrance for a better outcome. This procedure gives you a very good outcome. And if your oil is also of good quality, your fragrance will smell nice. This soap smells nice. In fact, all my soap smells nice. There are very big, little and tiny tricks to how you can make your fragrance come out very well in your soap and last very well. So once you are done, mix everything together and pour it into your mold. That is all. If you should make this soap in the morning, by evening time, you should be cutting the soap. If you should make the soap in the evening time or in the night, by the next day, you should be cutting the soap. This soap will actually be hard the next day you are cutting it. After cutting it, you can air it and then you stamp. So once you are done, mix everything together and pour it into your mold. And that is all. It is as simple as that. Anybody that is starting new to make soap can easily make this. You can see very well we are using our mold that is for sale to make this. If you are planning on going into soaping production starting from next year, this is a very good method for you to start with. We have mold and cutter you can buy from us, and then you can start up your production come next year, 2025. We also offer training on how to make laundry bar soap for those who are into commercial production of bar soap making. It is a paid class and it is not for free. If you are interested in joining me or me training you on how to make laundry bar soap that you can sell, the name of my class is actually called Advanced Profit in Bar Soap Making. If you want to join it, you can send me a WhatsApp number, WhatsApp message with the WhatsApp number on the screen, and I will enroll you. I bet you won't regret it, and you meet a lot of persons that are also very big and beautiful soapers out there. But also note that after pouring your soap into your mold, try as much as possible to be very quick with it. Flatten your surface with your spatula or anything you have, and then use a nylon and cover the surface. When making cold process, it is very, very important that you lap the surface of your soap. That way, the surface of your soap will be smooth after production, and you will not have it ashing immediately. You will not have these white patches that normally comes out on the surface of the soap after making your soap. So try as much as possible to use an extra, even if it's not a nylon in your mold. You can just keep a nylon by the side and use that nylon to cover your soap. This helps your soap to have a very smooth and perfect shape when it comes out. So both the bottom and the surface will come out very neat and beautiful. And you will not have white patches or that looks like ashen on the surface of your soap. So this is how it looks. I make sure I smoothen it out. It's very good you do this. Please try as much as possible to do it. You see how we limited water in this soap. That is why we will not be having shrinkage of soap after making this soap. And you also see how we limited the components that we use, the chemicals that we used. That will help you to earn at least profit in the soap. And then the cutter you are using, the size of the soap you cut the soap, will also help you to cut out as many as possible and sell it very well according to market price. So if you want to make profit in your soap, you need to consider a lot of things. You need to consider the recipe, the chemicals that are involved, the quantities that are involved. You also need to consider your cutting tools, the size of the soap you cut, the mold you are using to pour the soap. All these things are things you need to be considering when you are thinking about starting up a soaping production line. Those things will help you determine whether you are making profit or not. There are some measurements you will use and you have less soap. And that same measurement, I may use it, but because of my cutter and my mold, I may have more soap and we may still sell the same price. That's just it. And then you should also work on your pricing. Some of us just make soap and feel that because it's soap, we should sell it to kobo. No. Try as much as possible to check the prices in the market and compare the prices of your competitors in the market. Their prices will help you to determine if your price is suitable or not. You can't make soap and be at loss now. The cost of production right now is very expensive. Palm kernel oil right now is as expensive as almost 75,000 naira per keg. Some people are getting it even more. Some people are even getting it even more. So you should try as much as possible to see how you can get your oils at a very cheap rate, if possible. But even if you are not getting it at a cheap rate, then try as much as possible to work on the prices you are selling. Your selling price should not be lower than your cost price. Your cost price should always be lower, and then your selling price should be more, so that at the end you will be having profit and gain and not losses. This is why some of us, whenever they finish making soap, after the first one, second one, they just give up. Also note that buying in quantities and in kgs helps you to save cost, because the prices you are buying when you are buying it in retail form, 200 gram, 100 gram, will be more expensive compared to the person that is buying it in half bag, quarter bag, full bag. Even the oils, people that buy it in full keg tends to make more profit than people who buy it in retail quantities. If it means going to the village to source for cheap oils, please try and source. This way, you'll be having more profit after making your soap. Don't forget to contact us for training on laundry bar soap, and don't forget to contact us on this mold and cutters or table cutters, any cutting materials or soaping equipment you want to get for cutting your soap into nice shapes. You can contact us with the number on the screen and we'll deliver it to you within 2 weeks of production.